I call this meeting to order. Everybody please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Martino, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Barry.
Here.
Trustee McDonald.
Here.
Trustee Condon.
Here.
Trustee Stepien.
Here.
Trustee Luckett.
Here.
Trustee Denley.
Here.
Mayor Dundeck.
Here. There being a sufficient number of members present, this meeting is hereby declared to be in order. The first item of business before the board is a public hearing for the 2014-2015 annual budget. I open the public hearing. Clerk Martino, can you please swear in anyone who wishes to speak?
Anyone who cares to speak about the budget, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give tonight is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Does anyone care to speak about the 2014-2015 budget? If not, I will close the public hearing. Finance Director, please give your report on the annual budget.
Before the village this evening is our 2014-2015 annual budget. Our budget highlights. The budget is currently balanced. Construction continues on the police station. The equipment replacement program is funded for the third year. We are currently rebating property taxes to our residents for the 5th year in a row. Completion of the New Lenox Town Master Plan. The new program added is program number 485, the Stormwater System Maintenance Program. And we are addressing strategic priorities during this budget year. Up there you can see our operating revenue cover operating expenses. The general fund accounts for the local government services, including programs overseen by the following departments: administration, community development, public safety, public works, and various boards. For the third year, we have met one of our strategic goals of maintaining over a 3-month operating reserve in the general fund. So if something were to go wrong, the village could function for 3 months off of our reserves. The budget assumes the following assumptions in the fiscal year. We are assuming 172 single-family homes to be built, 2 medical building permits that are currently in the planning process, 2 commercial projects that are currently in the planning process, 65% tax rebate towards our strategic goal of 75% in 3 years, and our sales tax assumes a 5% increase based on recent trend data, and the utility tax based on the previous year's receipt. We are going to be spending $1,600,000 on road improvements. $1.4 million are going to be on repairing current roads, and we are going to spend $200,000 on a road connecting the Commons to the Community Park District building. The major capital projects that will continue in 2014-2015 are the police station. Construction began during the fiscal year 2013-2014, with completion expected in November of this year. And the project was funded with the 2013A bond proceeds and bond proceeds to be issued during the fiscal year. We will also be doing a Nelson Road extension. Engineering continues into this fiscal year, and land including ROW and easements is needed and will be pursued this fiscal year. Legal fees included in this budget year. The expansion of wastewater treatment plant number 2 is scheduled to begin later this fiscal year. We will be spending $4.5 million on the wastewater treatment plant number 2, and a total of $100,000 will be spent upgrading the wastewater treatment plant number 1, $60,000 in the SCADA upgrade, and $40,000 in the control upgrades. The one major water project that is included in the Water Capital Improvements Fund is the Joliet Highway Water Tower. Will be rehabbed for $1 million. So in conclusion, the fiscal year of 2014-2015 budget is going to allow for the continuation of quality services for residents and addresses capital needs. We're going to initiate the expansion of the wastewater treatment plant number 2. Equipment replacement program will continue the replacement of aged vehicles and equipment. Give homeowners a 65% property tax rebate for the village portion of their 2013 tax bill, which will be the 5th year in a row rebating taxes. And new revenue sources are going to allow for the completion of the new police station, as well as the Nelson Road extension and expansion of the annual road overlay and curb replacement program. That's all, folks.
Any comments or questions from the board? Let's move on to our next agenda item. Village Administrator Rittenbacher, will you please give your report?
Thank you, Mayor. There have been requests for the village to build a new metro station. The village is seeking to build a new train station east of the existing one. The project cost is $5 million.
Any comments or questions from the board?
How will this be paid for?
The village will be seeking grants or other funding to make the improvements.
Any more comments or questions from the board? Let's move on to the next item of the agenda.
There have been requests from our residents to build a veterans monument in the village commons. On the north side of the commons is a veterans memorial. We could look into a police memorial or statue.
Any comments from the board?
I make motion to put together a funding program for a new police memorial in the Commons.
I second that motion.
Clerk Martirano, will you please call the roll?
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee McDonald,
Yes.
Trustee Condon,
Yes.
Trustee Stepien,
Yes.
Trustee Luckett,
Yes.
Trustee Donnelly,
Yes.
Mayor Dundek.
Yes. The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is light pollution. Community Development Director Dolan, please give your report.
Thank you, Mayor. The village has an ordinance that requires all lighting in commercial areas to have a full cutoff light fixtures. Lighting is a sensitive issue because businesses want to make themselves visible to customers while not impacting adjoining residential properties. There is also public safety concern with lighting. The police department needs to be able to drive by locations and be able to see that there are no problems.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions from the board? Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Community Development Director Dolan, please give your next report on the Commons Master Plan.
Thank you, Mayor. The village has been working with a consultant on a plan for the rest of the new Lenox Commons area, extending to the movie theater. The plan calls for a large pond with walking trails and properties for commercial development such as shops and restaurants. There would be new roads completed for the development, including the extension of Independence Drive from Nelson Road to Veterans Parkway.
Any comments or questions from the board? Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Engineer Gray, can you please give your report?
Thank you, Mayor. The next item on the agenda is a request for a crossing for Route 30 near Lincoln Way Central. There is an existing intersection at Anderson Road and Route 30 just west of the Lincoln Way Central campus that could have pavement markings added to provide a pedestrian crossing walk at this intersection for minimal cost. If the board would like staff to investigate a pedestrian bridge in the area, we can hire a consultant to complete a preliminary layout and cost estimate for budgeting purposes.
Are there any comments or questions from the board?
I think it's a good idea to hire a consultant to complete a preliminary layout. Therefore, I make that motion.
I second that motion.
I have a first and a second to hire a consultant. Clerk Martirano, please call the roll.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee McDonald,
Yes.
Trustee Condon,
Yes.
Trustee Stepien,
Yes.
Trustee Luckett,
Yes.
Trustee Donnelly,
Yes.
Mayor Dundek.
Yes. The motion carries. Let's move on to the next item of the agenda. Engineer Gray, can you please give your next report?
Thank you, Mayor. There have been many requests from the students of Liberty Junior High to install sidewalks on Cedar Road from the school to Ranch Frosties. This sidewalk could possibly be located along the west side of Cedar Road from Francis Road to Lenox Road. The bridge might be able to be restriped to allow pedestrian access on the existing structure.
Are there any comments or questions from the board?
Is this an area of Cedar Road under the jurisdiction of the Illinois Department of Transportation? Will we have to work with the IDOT to permit this work?
Yes, it is. We can put together a meeting with IDOT to discuss this.
This request for sidewalks is brought up in many meetings. Are there any other comments from the board? Hearing none, let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Chief Building Inspector Paraday, can you please give your report on residential sprinklers?
Thank you, Mayor. As the board is aware, the new building codes contain requirements for the residential sprinklers. This would mean that all new homes would require a sprinkler system when they are constructed. Our current building code does not require sprinklers, but does allow it as an option, and there have been a couple builders that have installed them. The estimated cost to install sprinklers varies from $150 to $4 a square foot and could add an additional $25,000 to $10,000 per house. We would like to get input and direction from the board regarding adopting the new building code that requires sprinklers in homes. Our neighboring towns, Mokina and Frankfort, currently follow the same code as New Lenox and do not require sprinklers.
I am concerned that requiring sprinklers could cause people to not build homes in New Lenox because of the increased cost. Does the village require smoke detectors in new homes?
Yes, smoke detectors are currently installed in all new homes as a method of warning occupants of potential fires.
Thank you for that report. Are there any other comments or questions from the board? Let's move on to the next item on the agenda. Chief Building Inspector Paraday, please give your next report.
Thank you, Mayor Dundak. For the 2014-2013 fiscal year that just ended on April 30th, New Lenox has issued a total of 182 single-family permits. For the 2014 calendar year, there have been a total of 42 single-family home permits, with 16 being issued in April.
Thank you. Are there any other comments from the board?
This is great news. New Lenox is a thriving town, and we are lucky to call it our home.
I agree. Moving on to the next item of the agenda, Economic Development Director Smith, will you please give us your next report?
Thank you, Mayor Dundek. We are getting ready for the International Council of Shopping Centers convention next week. We have updated all marketing information for New Lenox and have a new display to take as well. We can announce that Potbelly's is coming to the village in front of Walmart. We are working with several other restaurants who are also interested in locating here as well.
Great news that Potbelly's coming to build a new restaurant in front of Walmart. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
The area around the new hospital is in need of restaurants since there are no places for families of patients and other visitors at the hospital to eat.
Staff has been working on this for some time now. I hope to have more information for the board at its next meeting.
Route 30 continues to be an area where new restaurants may choose to construct their business. For example, Bulldog Ale House recently opened and seems to be doing a very nice job.
The Commons Master Plan shows locations for future restaurants.
We have received requests from village residents to construct a water and amusement park, which falls under the Park District's jurisdiction.
We could request the Park District to look into this.
Do I hear a motion to request that the New Lenox Park District look into the development of a water and amusement park?
I would like to make a motion to request the Park District research the feasibility of developing a water and amusement park.
I second that motion.
We have a first and a second to request the New Lenox Park District research the feasibility of developing a water and amusement park. Are there any more comments from the board? No more comments. Clerk Martirano, please call the roll.
Trustee Barry,
Yes.
Trustee McDonald,
Yes.
Trustee Condon,
Yes.
Trustee Stepien,
Yes.
Trustee Luckett,
No.
Trustee Donnelly,
Yes.
Mayor Dundek.
Yes. Motion carries. Economic Development Director Smith, will you please give us your next report?
Thank you, Mayor. We are ready to launch our Shop New Lenox program. This will include an online interactive business directory that the business owners can customize. This will allow them another tool to advertise and market their business. Another goal of the program is to increase awareness of the public that shopping in New Lenox benefits the entire community.
Thank you for that report. Are there any board comments or questions? Hearing none, let's move on to the next item. Police Chief O'Hara, please give your report.
Thank you, Mayor. There's been talk about having an anti-drug program. This program would start in the grade schools and be expanded at the junior and senior high school levels. Reports of any and all drug use should be reported to the police department. The department tries to educate everyone in the community of the dangers of drugs.
Thank you for the report. Are there any comments or questions from the board?
We also encourage parents to educate their children on the danger of drugs.
If there are no other comments, let's move on to the next item of the agenda. Police Chief O'Hara, please give your next report.
There has been discussion of extra police officers to patrol the movie night in the Commons. Can we use the kids from the cadet program?
Sounds like a good idea. Let's set up a meeting with them to see if they'd be interested. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, Public Works Director Holzhauer, please give your report.
The next item on the agenda is a request for lights along the Old Plank Trail. This bike trail is maintained by the Will County Forest Preserve. We can have village staff contact the Forest Preserve with this request and also for the additional benches and garbage cans.
Are there any comments from the board? Let's move on to the next part. Do I hear a motion to contact Will County Forest Preserve about the installation of lights along the trail?
I make a motion to contact the Will County Forest Preserve for the lights along the trail.
I second that motion.
We have a first and a second. Could Clerk Martirano please call the roll?
Trustee Barry.
Yes.
Trustee McDonald.
Yes.
Trustee Condon.
Yes.
Trustee Stepien.
Yes.
Trustee Luckett.
No.
Trustee Denley.
Yes.
And Mayor Dundeck.
No. However, the motion carries. Let's move on to the final item on the agenda. Public Works Director Holzhauer, please give your next report.
Thank you, Mayor. Staff wanted to make the board aware that we are working diligently to fix all the potholes in the streets. Because of the major winter we had, the streets were tore up from all the plowing that needed to be done.
I would like to thank the Public Works Department for a great job this winter. That being the final item on the agenda, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make that motion.
I second that motion.
Motion carries. Meeting adjourned.
Great job, kids. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and a big thank you, of course, to our schools, Martino, Liberty, and St. Jude, for participating in Student Government Day. It's been going on for many, many years. We certainly appreciate your efforts. It is important, we feel, that the younger people in the community get involved in local government now. They see how things really work, so they can become more informed citizens as they get older. The mayor's already told me he's ready to take the job, so we've got quite an agenda tonight, so I'm just going to leave you sit up here for the next 2 hours. You did such a good job. You want to handle the next meeting as well?
Sure, why not?
If you think you can handle it, it's all yours. It's all yours. But again, congratulations to everybody. You kids did a great job. Local government is really where it's at. It's difficult to be able to talk to your state representatives, or certainly your federal representatives are not available, but myself and the trustees and the department heads and employees, you know, we shop at the local stores and eat in the local restaurants, and we're fortunate to be able to run into the residents, and you can come up and ask questions and give us your concerns or some suggestions. And that's how good government works. We interact with the people, and we have that opportunity to do that in a local level. As large as our community is getting, it's still a small town. We still have that ability to hear from our people and represent them, and we hope we represent them well. So again, congratulations. I know we've got a plaque. Mayor, you want to give the plaque out to your board and staff here?
Sure.
All right, here, I'll bring it over to you. You can go ahead and call them up, and then if there's any family who wants to get a picture, go ahead and step up and shake their hand there. Call them out.
Trustee Sean Denley.
Good job, Sean.
Trustee Barry. Trustee Condon. Trustee McDonald. Trustee Stepien. Trustee Luckett. Administrator Rittenbacher. Community Development Director Dolan. Village Clerk Martirano.
She's definitely staying for the next meeting.
Engineer Smith. Chief Building Inspector Haley Paraday. Public Works Superintendent Emma Holzhauer. Finance Director Tim Lang.
He looks like a finance director, doesn't he? Very professional, Kim. That's what I meant by that.
Police Chief Katie O'Hara. And last, but certainly not least, Economic Development Director Mitchell Gray.
Wasn't least, and it's not last. How about our mayor, Zachary Dunda? Congratulations, pal. We'll take a picture with everybody. Before we do that, though, I want to say thank you to all of our staff. They're obviously very busy. This is a fast-moving town. They have a lot of work to do. But our village clerk, Laura, thank you to you and all of our department heads that spent time with these young students here to show them the ropes. They took time out of their busy day. We certainly appreciate it. Our trustees are here. Trustee Tuminello is in the back. We appreciate him coming out as well. But it's a lot of work that goes into it, but it's certainly well worth it. We appreciate it. So why don't we do this, kids? If you all want to come on up here, we'll take a quick photo. And thank you again, parents and school officials, for coming out. Maybe we make another row. So some of the vertically challenged kids come out front there. So you gotta say the political correct way, pal. You can't. We got everybody here. Everybody good? You guys will be able to watch us on Channel 6 as well. It's exciting television for all the insomniacs in town. You'll be able to...
My favorite channel.
Buddy? We got to talk. All right, great job, everybody. Thank you.